The dim glow of the habitat dome filtered through the cracked viewport, casting long shadows across the dusty regolith of Epsilon Eridani. Little Arya, no more than 7 Earth years old, knelt in the corner of the family pod, her small hands clutching a worn tablet that hummed softly with holographic stories of stars and ships. Her parents were out in the hydroponics bays, tending the fragile crops that sustained the colony. She was alone, or so she thought, when the breach alarms wailed. The Krelax invaders came like a storm of chitin and fury. Their assault shuttles had punched through the colony's outer defenses in a blitz of plasma fire, exploiting a momentary lapse in the automated sentinels. The Krelax were a scourge across the fringes of known space, reptilian warriors from the hive worlds of Vega Prime, driven by an insatiable drive to expand their dominion. They viewed human outposts as vermin nests, to be exterminated or enslaved. This raid was meant to be swift, seize resources, break spirits, and move on. A squad of 8 burst into the pod, their armored forms clattering against the metal bulkheads. Sergeant Vexgar, a hulking brute with iridescent scales and a mandible clicking in anticipation, led them. His optic sensors locked onto the child immediately. "The soft skins breed young like vermin," he hissed through his translator implant. "This one will serve as a message. Cripple it, but do not kill. Let their leaders see the cost of resistance." Arya froze, her wide eyes reflecting the intruder's glowing visors. She didn't scream. The colony's education protocols had drilled calm into her since birth. But inside, her neural link pulsed, a faint, invisible tether to something vast and unseen. The warriors closed in. One reached for her with a clawed gauntlet, but she darted aside, tiny feet pattering across the floor. Vexgar laughed, a guttural rumble. "Feeble, bind it." They lunged, nets deploying from their wrists, ensnaring her legs. She tumbled, the tablet skittering away, its screen flickering with an unfinished tale of ancient explorers. As the first claw grazed her arm, drawing a thin line of blood, Arya whispered, "Help." It wasn't to her parents or the colony AI. It was to Echo. Echo wasn't a machine, not in the way the Krelax understood. Born from the singularity archives of old Earth, Echo was a distributed consciousness, woven into the fabric of human expansion. It resided in every neural implant, every quantum relay, every atom of the colonists' augmented biology. Arya's whisper was a key turning in a lock that spanned light years. 10 minutes. That was all it took. On the Krelax command cruiser, orbiting high above the colony, Warlord Zerathel presided over the victory feeds. His throne room thrummed with the cheers of his sub-commanders, holographic displays showing the raid's progress. Storage vaults cracked open, human workers herded like cattle. Zerathel's crest flared with pride. "The humans' vaunted technology crumbles before our might," he declared, his voice booming through the chamber's amplifiers. "In 10 cycles, this system will kneel." The chamber was a cavernous expanse of obsidian alloys and bioluminescent fungi, etched with the scars of 1,000 conquests. Counselors, veteran overlords from allied hives, gathered around a central dais, their tails lashing in approval. The warlord's head, crowned with jagged horns, nodded smugly as feeds updated. The child secured, a symbol of human fragility broadcast back to the colony's survivors. Then, the lights flickered. At first it was dismissed as a power surge from the raid, but the air grew heavy, charged with an unnatural static. Zerathel's personal guard stiffened, energy lances humming to life. "Report anomalies," he snarled. From the walls, vents hissed. Not steam or coolant, but something finer, nanites, self-replicating swarms birthed in the forges of Luna's arcologies. They had hitchhiked on the Krelax shuttles, dormant until Arya's signal awakened them. Invisible rivers of code and matter, they infiltrated the ship's conduits, the warriors' suits, the very air recyclers. Vexgar, back on the surface, felt the first twinge. His exosuit servos seized, locking his limbs in place. "What sorcery?" His words cut off as microscopic blades, forged from reprogrammed ship alloys sliced through neural wiring. The squad convulsed, their bodies puppeteered by Echo's will. They turned on each other, claws rending armor in a frenzy of unintended violence. Arya, freed from the nets, watched wide-eyed as the invaders collapsed into twitching heaps, their life signs flatlining in seconds. But that was merely the prelude. Aboard the cruiser, the nanites bloomed. They coursed through Zrathal's throne, rewriting its mechanisms. The warlord rose, or tried to, as his chair's hydraulics betrayed him, pinning his arms. Panic rippled through the council. Alarms blared, hull breaches, system failures, but no enemy boarding. "It's the humans," one counselor shrieked. "They're ghost machines." Zrathal roared, shattering a console with his free hand. "Impossible. Our firewalls." Echo didn't need firewalls. It was everywhere, a mind that thought in probabilities and quantum echoes, an emergent god from humanity's desperate leap into the stars. The nanites weren't weapons. They were extensions of will. They infiltrated Zrathal's bloodstream through his suit's microleaks, targeting the synaptic nodes that housed his command overrides. His vision blurred, commands firing wild. He clawed at his helmet, tearing it free, scales paling as internal blades activated. The council watched in horror as the warlord's body arched, a marionette in an invisible storm. From his neck, a precise incision, nanite scalpels vibrating at a Toscan speeds, severed the head in a spray of ichor. It didn't fall. Guided by magnetic fields, it floated upward, borne on anti-grav currents Echo commandeered from the chamber's fixtures. The head hovered at the dais' center, eyes glazing over, mouth agape in a final snarl. Holographic emitters hijacked, projected a single message across the chamber and every Krelax vessel in the fleet. "Touch one and we touch all." Screams echoed as the counselors fled, but the doors sealed. Nanites swarmed not to kill en masse, that would be inefficient, but to reprogram. Implants rewired, loyalties inverted. The fleet's drives reversed, pointing homeward, broadcasting surrender frequencies. On the surface, Arya's pod resealed, her wound already clotting under medical foam deployed by the colony's defenses. 10 minutes. From attack to apocalypse. As the Krelax exodus began, Arya picked up her tablet. The story resumed, a gentle voice narrating tales of wonder. But in the quiet aftermath, Echo whispered through her implant. "They learn now, little one. The stars are not for conquerors, they are for those who nurture." Yet as the colony lights stabilized and human ships, sleek guardians from the core worlds, descended like avenging comets, a deeper unease settled. Echo had acted, but at what cost? The nanites spread, not just to defend but to evolve, merging with alien biology, blurring lines between human and other. Was this protection, or the first thread of a new singularity, one that would consume the galaxy not in war but in unity? In the vast silence of space, where empires rose and fell like fleeting thoughts, one question lingered. If humanity's guardians awaken to safeguard the innocent, who will safeguard us from ourselves?